Have you ever had one of those days where you wake up and tell yourself, okay, today's the day. Today, you're finally going to get your life together. You'll start that project, go to the gym, study for that exam, work on your business, do the thing you've been avoiding for weeks. And for a moment, you actually believe it. But then, you grab your phone, just for a second, just to check one notification. And somehow, that 1 second turns into 10 minutes, then 30, then an hour. Before you know it, the day is almost over. And now you're sitting there feeling terrible, guilty, frustrated, maybe even disappointed in yourself. You say the same thing again. Why am I like this? Why do I keep procrastinating? And maybe the worst part, you know exactly what you should be doing, but you still don't do it. So you start thinking, maybe I'm just lazy. No, you're probably not lazy. And that's important, because most people completely misunderstand procrastination. They think procrastination means poor time management. That's not usually the real problem. The real reason you procrastinate, it has very little to do with time, and almost everything to do with emotion. Let me explain. Procrastination is not a productivity problem. It's an emotional regulation problem. That means when you avoid something, you're usually not avoiding the task itself. You're avoiding the feeling the task creates. Read that again. You're not avoiding the work. You're avoiding the discomfort. And your brain hates discomfort. Think about it. When you look at a difficult task, what happens? Your brain immediately scans for danger. Will this be stressful? Will this be hard? Will I feel overwhelmed? What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? The moment your brain senses emotional discomfort, it wants out. Fast. That's where procrastination begins. Not because you're lazy, because your brain is trying to protect you. And here's the weird part. It actually works, at least temporarily. The moment you avoid the task, you feel relief. Just a tiny bit, but enough. Enough for your brain to say, oh, avoiding this makes us feel better. And boom, a habit is born. Task appears. Stress rises. You avoid it. Stress drops. Brain gets rewarded. Again, and again, and again. Eventually, procrastination becomes automatic. You don't even think about it anymore. And now I need to talk about something huge. Dopamine. Because modern life has made procrastination way worse. Your brain loves rewards, especially easy rewards. Social media, short videos, games, notifications, scrolling. They all give quick dopamine hits. Fast pleasure, no effort. Now, compare that to real work. Studying? Hard. Exercise? Painful. Building a business? Mentally exhausting. Learning a skill? Slow and frustrating. So your brain compares two choices. Option 1, do something difficult now. Get rewarded later. Option 2, feel good right now, with almost zero effort. Be honest. Which one sounds easier? Exactly. That's why procrastination feels so powerful today. You're not fighting laziness. You're fighting an entire system designed to steal your attention. Your phone isn't just a device anymore. It's a dopamine machine. Every swipe, every click, every notification, it trains your brain to expect instant stimulation. And slowly, deep work starts feeling unbearable. But there's another reason people procrastinate. And this one hurts. Fear. Sometimes you're not avoiding work. You're avoiding what the work might reveal. What if you try and fail? What if you give your best effort and it still isn't enough? That possibility is painful. So your brain comes up with a clever defense mechanism. Don't start, because if you never fully try, you never fully fail. That sounds irrational, but it's real. A lot of procrastination is actually self-protection. You delay because delay feels safer. And then there's another hidden one. Perfectionism. This surprises a lot of people. Perfectionists procrastinate constantly. Why? Because perfection creates pressure. You tell yourself, I need the perfect idea, the perfect timing, the perfect plan, the perfect execution. So you wait, and wait, and wait, and nothing happens. Here's the truth. Perfectionism often looks productive, but most of the time, it's just fear wearing a nicer outfit. Then there's overwhelm. Maybe this is you. You have huge goals. Start a business. Lose weight. Save money. Fix your life. Become successful. Sounds inspiring. until your brain realizes how massive the task feels. And suddenly, you freeze because the mountain looks too big. This is called task paralysis. When something feels too overwhelming, your brain chooses avoidance. Not because you don't care, because the pressure feels unbearable. So what do? First, stop calling yourself lazy. Seriously, that label is hurting you. Because laziness isn't the core issue. Comfort is. You are fighting your brain's addiction to comfort. And that changes the game. Because now the goal isn't, how do I become motivated? That's the wrong question. The better question is, how do I get better at handling discomfort? That's what successful people do. They're not always more motivated than everyone else. They've simply trained themselves to tolerate discomfort. They understand something powerful. Discomfort is not danger. Let that sink in. Just because something feels uncomfortable doesn't mean something is wrong. In fact, discomfort is often a sign of growth. The gym feels uncomfortable. Learning feels uncomfortable. Discipline feels uncomfortable. Growth feels uncomfortable. That's normal. The people who win in life usually master one skill, doing what needs to be done, even when they don't feel like it. Not when motivation is high. Not when everything feels easy, especially when it doesn't. So here's something practical. Shrink the task. Don't tell yourself, I need to finish everything today. That feels overwhelming. Instead say, I'll do just 2 minutes. That's it. 2 minutes. Open a laptop. Write one sentence. Read one page. Do one push-up. Make starting ridiculously easy. Because starting is usually the hardest part. Once you start, momentum kicks in. And momentum is powerful. Another tip, reduce easy dopamine. Make distractions harder. Put your phone away. Delete addictive apps. Turn off notifications. Create friction. Because the harder distraction becomes, the easier focus becomes. And I want to leave you with this. Most people think motivation comes first. It doesn't. Action comes first. Then motivation follows. That's the secret. Stop waiting to feel ready. You may never feel ready. Start anyway. So, what's the real reason you procrastinate? It's not laziness. It's emotional avoidance. You're avoiding discomfort, avoiding failure, avoiding imperfection, avoiding uncertainty. But now you know the truth. And awareness gives you power. So the next time you catch yourself procrastinating, don't ask, what's wrong with me? Ask this instead, what discomfort am I trying to escape right now? That question can change everything. Because the moment you stop running from discomfort, you start becoming stronger. You start becoming disciplined. And little by little, you become the person you've always wanted to be. That's where change begins.